Joining me now from Raleigh, North Carolina, member of the North Carolina Values Coalition, Cami Mueller. Cami, this is blackmail on the part of the Obama administration and the federal government, but it is indeed an assault on our families, on our culture, and on our Constitution.
You're absolutely correct. That's exactly what this is. This is a federal extortion. To give you a little background, in the North Carolina case, which is of course not being broadcast on the mainstream media outlets, the reason our HB2 law, the Bathroom Privacy Act, had to be implemented was to overturn a harmful ordinance that the city of Charlotte put into place. City of Charlotte said, not only are we going to open all bathrooms to all sexes, but we're going to force businesses to also comply. So our governor and our General Assembly acted, and now you can see last week the Obama administration waves their royal scepter and says, you must comply with what our interpretation of the law is, which is completely off base, inappropriate, and unlawful.
I don't even think as a human being, Barack Obama agrees with this, but what he does agree with is the overall goal, and that is this so-called fundamental transformation of this country. In order to fundamentally form a country, you have to essentially tear it apart. And that is at the crux of what is happening here. But if you step back and you look at what has happened over the last few years and just the discourse, just the discussion of this kind of stuff, it is poison to the ears of young people, and they're very vulnerable. They're very susceptible to being affected by what is in vogue, what is popular at this moment. And so what you're going to have here is a self-fulfilling prophecy of kids becoming transgendered just because.
Well, I hope we don't see, but time will tell if that prediction turns into reality. But I think you're right to a certain extent. The Obama administration is showing by evidence of their actions in blatant disregard to our United States Constitution that they are trying to change the very fabric of our nation. And here in North Carolina, the majority of North Carolinians don't want their daughters, their wives, their sisters, their little girls to be in a locker room or shower in the presence of someone who's a biological male. It doesn't make sense. The mass majority of Americans, whether they're liberal or conservative, would say that doesn't make sense. So my suggestion to the Obama administration would be, why don't we abide by the United States Constitution, let the multiple lawsuits that are going on all across the country against both his administration and other entities play out, and stop trying to force their political agenda on people.
I would take it a step further. I think the governor is doing the right thing, but I think he's using the wrong vehicle. He shouldn't take the crapshoot in the courts, because eventually it's going to go to the United States Supreme Court, and we've seen what the United States Supreme Court will do on gay marriage. They're going to legislate from the bench. I believe your governor in every state has the right under the 10th Amendment to decide what it's going to do on behalf of its people, because there is a lot at stake here. It's called federalism. It's called the entire system of our government. You have a president coming in here with a heavy shoe and putting it on the throat of the people of North Carolina and every state in the union. And what I'm hoping for is, we have a couple of people running for president. I guess we have three technically right now. And I hear crickets from these people. Of course, from the Democrat side, I don't expect much. But I expect the guy running for the Republican nomination to come out and say, wait a minute, I support people's liberty in this case. Don't you?
Gosh, I certainly hope so. Now, in reference to Donald Trump, he has sort of been on both sides of this issue. He initially came out sort of in line with what the Obama administration is currently saying, and he later backtracked. I think he should come out with clarity, honesty, and sincerity, and explain why and what he believes in regards to men being allowed to shower and see women undress in a safe space. But I think in terms of the Obama administration, they're issuing a very clear message, and that message is: we will guilt you, we will shame you, we will call you names, we will crush you, unless you silence yourself where you jump on board with the lie that there's no difference between a man and a woman. And
Right.
if we do not draw that line now, the line that says no man should be showering next to a woman, then that line will never be drawn.
It's just common sense. All right, the pushback, it's happening at the micro level with you folks in North Carolina. It's happening obviously in Texas. It's going to happen in, I think, a majority of these 50 states. And that's what needs to happen here, right? It needs to happen at the grassroots level where you have a bottom-up pushback saying, wait a minute, it's families, it's communities, and it's churches and synagogues saying, hold on a minute, we need to stand up for what is right. You agree?
I do. Every American has the freedom to live and work in accordance to their sincerely and peacefully held beliefs without government overreaching and casting fear on what someone's belief system is. So you're right. This is about North Carolina, but this is about the entire nation. This should be a rallying call that things are about to change for the far worse that we cannot rectify going forward. So if we don't take a stand right now, the very fabric of our nation will be in a state of distress, and we may never be able to rebuild it back to how it should be.
That's right. You lose the moral foundation of your country, you lose your civil society. This is a time to stand up, be heard, and fight. Cammie, thanks.